Namaste and welcome to Auroville Calling.
In this series, we will introduce you
to the essence and spirit of Auroville, the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, current developments, and Auroville's sustainable approach to a conscious living.
All possibilities of volunteering, internships, and collaborations with Auroville.
Auroville Calling episode 6. We have with us Mr. Koshi from Auroville Foundation, and Mr. William from Auroville, Ms. Uma from Auroville, and my name is Malika. Srinivasan, in every episode, we are trying to connect to different centers, mostly Auroville and Sri Aurobindo and Mother's Center across India and abroad. And we are very happy this time to connect with Heartfulness. Last year, I remember I was there for the Global Spiritual Summit and how impressed I was with the arrangements, with the entire concept. And when I came back, it was for a month that I was singing praises for the Heartfulness Center. So we will begin with a short music of Mother's organ, followed by a small video on Matri Mandir, and then we will start the interaction.
Certainly.
The Matra Mandir wants to be the symbol of the divine's answer to man's aspiration for perfection. Union with the divine manifesting in a progressive human unity. The 4 pillars, large golden discs above the entrance of the pillars: south, Maheshwari; north, Mahakali; east, Mahalakshmi; and west, Mahasaraswati. The inner chamber, a place for trying to find one's consciousness. The important thing is this: the play of the sun on the center, because that becomes the symbol of future realization. People will be allowed in to concentrate, to learn how to concentrate. No fixed meditations, none of all that. But they must stay there in silence and concentration. The lotus pond. Below the Matra Mandir, water flows gently in a pure white marble lotus pond. At its center, a crystal ball receives the beam of sunlight that has passed through the inner chamber. The 12 meditation rooms in the petals. The 12 petals around the Matra Mandir correspond to the 12 petals of the Mother's symbol. Inside each petal is a small meditation room representing one of the 12 powers of the Universal Mother. The colors of the 12 meditation rooms in the petals correspond to those in Mother's symbol. The Park of Unity must be surrounded by some kind of isolating zone so that it is solitary and silent. One has access to it only with permission. The 12 gardens are as important as the Matra Mandir itself. The banyan tree, chosen by the Mother as the geographical center of Auroville, is about 100 years old. Amphitheater and the lotus bud-shaped urn. This urn contains a handful of soil from 124 nations and 23 Indian states. It also contains the Charter of Auroville, handwritten in French by the Mother and sealed inside a stainless steel container. Auroville wants to be a universal town where men and women of all countries are able to live in peace and progressive harmony. above all creeds, all politics, and all nationalities. The purpose of Auroville is to realize human unity. Unity in diversity, not in uniformity. Mind to supermind, conscious to higher consciousness.
So this was a short video about Matri Mandir. Srinivasji, have you been to Auroville before?
I have been once to Auroville. I'm currently based in Delhi, but for many years I was in Chennai. So
Okay.
I have been there. Yes.
And you've been inside the Matri Mandir for the concentration?
Yes, I have been.
Lovely. So I read a little bit, although I would invite you to share with us about Heartfulness Center, the vision, the goal, and we will have a discussion on how we can collaborate. But I read a little bit from your about heartfulness, and which said the whole exercise of fine-tuning the heart with the mind is through meditation on the heart, and that is why it is called heartfulness meditation. That was lovely. So I invite you to tell us a little bit about the center, the vision of Heartfulness as an organization, and also a little bit about yourself, of how you got connected, your personal journey.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Firstly, it's really an honor and privilege to join today with all of you here and represent Sri Ramchandra Mission or Heartfulness Institute here. Essentially, if you really look at heartfulness, our teacher, present teacher Daji calls heartfulness nothing else but a way of living, which is heart-directed, heart-centered. The whole crux of the teaching of heartfulness is how humanity can be inspired towards the ideal of channelizing one's life through the guidance of the heart. And in that particular pursuit, through a very simplified practice, how we can connect more deeply to our heart, to permeates there, and be able to manifest that in our living. This is the whole idea of heartfulness and the crux of what we are trying to offer and work with communities. So if you look at our organization as such, the parent spiritual organization to which heartfulness relates its origins to is Sri Ramchandra Mission. It is a spiritual organization which was registered in 1945. In fact, yesterday, 31st March, was our 80th anniversary of registration in 1945 at Shahjahanpur, UP. And it was founded, or the practice of heartfulness was founded by our founding teacher or guide, who was known as Ramchandra, but he hailed from a town in Uttar Pradesh called Fatehgarh. So he was affectionately known as Lalaji Sahab. And what he was attributed to was that he rediscovered this art of pranahuti or yogic transmission, which is really the crux and the very key ingredient which entails this practice of meditation on the heart. So Lalaji Sahab felt that this practice of transmission, where a yogi of caliber who was connected and who was having that inner osmosis to the highest source, could transmit that essence to practitioners. This art of transmission was there in India, in Indian spiritual traditions. He writes in his autobiography almost 72 generations before Raja Janak. And beyond that period, for various reasons, it was not transferred down the lineage of practice. And Lalaji Sahab rediscovered this art of transmission. And his disciple, also by the name Ramchandra, but from Shahjahanpur in UP, he modeled this practice of heartfulness into a very simplified system of Raj Yoga, but with certain modifications for practitioners who are in modern day living, who are doing their day-to-day duties. And this path was to disseminate it. It was given an organizational shape as Sri Ramchandra Mission and established in 1945. So Ramchandra ji, our second guide of heartfulness from Shahjahanpur, he disseminated this practice across the country. He created trainers under his travel and guidance. A lot of centers and trainers were developed across India and in many countries of the world, where they were also on his behalf able to impart this practice of heartfulness to seekers. It is a very simplified practice which is suited to anyone in a modern day living with family, with his own responsibilities, but it offers a simplified way to be able to connect, go deeper within, touch that wellspring of consciousness and find its expansion in this own lifetime. So that was the whole idea and the gift which was offered through Heartfulness. And it is a practice which we offer entirely in spirit of service without any charge. It is to be offered in that format. So we are entirely a volunteer-led organization. We have today across India close to about 16,000 preceptors or trainers who are all working people, professionals like you and me, but they have at some juncture in their life come in touch with practice of heartfulness. Like in my own journey, when I was in my early career, I got inspired to meditate because I met a few people in my organization who were meditating through heartfulness. And when I started meditating, I saw a change in myself, and that inspired me to take the path from a practitioner to a volunteer and then become a more intense volunteer. And then thereby that journey became more intensified. So basically, it is entirely a volunteer-led organization. And today, as we speak, we have close to about 250 centers across the country where we have our own training centers, our meditation centers. We have trainers who offer this service to society. And across the world also, we have close to about 160 countries where we have our presence in terms of some of these countries we have our own centers, but in many of the countries we have our own practitioners and trainers. So that is entirely the work we do with communities. And at Kanha Shantivanam, our world headquarters in Heartfulness, our current teacher of Heartfulness, who is our fourth guide, after Lalaji Saab and Babuji Saab were our first two guides, then we had Sri Parthasarthi Rajgopalachari, who was our third guide of Heartfulness from Chennai, who took the mantle of its expansion globally. And in 2014, after his passing away, our current teacher of Heartfulness, Sri Kamlesh Patel, also known as Daji, has taken up the mantle of taking this movement of heartfulness across the world. So that's broadly in just what we do as an organization. We are all volunteers, and at Kanha Shantivanam at Hyderabad, we have our world headquarters, and it's a beautiful center. I would invite all of you to join us and come when you have time. It's just about 40 minutes from the airport. But here we have developed a beautiful ecosystem which integrates spirituality, wellness, and sustainability. So not only do we have a very large and a beautiful meditation center here, which hosts the world's largest meditation hall. We can seat almost 100,000 people here. We have stay facilities for about 40,000 people. But apart from that, the facility also has a lot of elements which help any seeker come here to learn meditation, to find his inner peace, to be able to pursue his goals on holistic well-being. It has a lovely sports center, and above all, this was a completely arid area which has got redeveloped into a very green space today. So it is also a global center for conservation and sustainability. The whole vision being able to integrate a meditation center with such green spaces. So that's where we had the World Spirituality Mahotsav. And our idea is to take the message of the heart, working with all like-minded people, organizations. All of us are working in our own ways to contribute to the welfare of humanity. And I think when we put our strengths together, I think together we can achieve a lot more and be able to really touch hearts in true sense. So that is broadly, Sister, what I wanted to just say as a little longish introduction. And I have my colleague here also, I can see on the screen, Trilochan Chawla. If I would like him, if I have missed out something to add, he is our Director for Interfaith Programs, and he joins us from Raipur. So Trilochanji, if I have missed out anything, you may please add.
Trilochanji, welcome to Auroville Calling. Please share your thoughts. And thank you, Srinivasan. That was a very wholesome explanation of the center and also your journey.
Thank you.
I think we have lost your video. We can hear you.
Yes. Yes, I think there is a slight heating on my instrument. It is just recalibrating.
Sure.
I'll just...
Trilochanji, namaste. you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. So right now I'm not in Raipur, I'm in Kana, just landed actually. So it's a pleasure talking to you all. And I heard what Srini Bhai told. And nothing to add, it's almost, I mean, he has briefed in a detail and everything. He has this thing. So yeah, please continue with your this thing.
So I remember very clearly when I was there for the Global Spirituality Summit, I read that Kanha Shantivanam is going to hold like 1 million people. So I thought that's just a far-fetched idea. How can an organization for 3 days hold 1 million people? And that was actually accomplished. And we saw the discipline, the cleanliness, the order in which everything went so smoothly. And like you said, because everybody was doing everything in the sense of service. And we had so many volunteers, and most of them were youngsters from across the country. So I was also going across asking people that, have you left everything and you joined the center? And they said, no, we all have our lives. Our individual progress is also complemented with what we are doing for the center. And so it only accelerates when we are in connection with the center. And this is exactly the concept of Auroville also, that it does not go to asceticism or ask you to, leave your individual progress. Along with progressing individually, how you collaborate with everybody, that is, and most importantly, like you said, the heart center, because that is the place from where the aspiration comes from. Thank you so much for that beautiful description. And you said that you have so many centers in India and across the globe. We are also now connecting to Auroville centers across the globe, and we are now we have gotten approved Auroville International Information Center to disseminate the information about Auroville. We realized that people do know about Auroville, but in bits and pieces from YouTube. And so although we have such great work happening here, somehow we have not touched upon disseminating this information to people. In fact, across India, when we went to all these IITs, NITs, under the 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo's, we did these conferences, and we realized even the youth of India, they know about Sri Aurobindo a little bit, but they don't know a place like Auroville exists. And so when they see a video on YouTube, they find it so fascinating. So one child came up to me and asked that, ma'am, which country do we have it in? And so we realized that, yes, now it's high time that we also take the message and we collaborate with all spiritual organizations, because the words and the way would be a little different, but the aim, the vision is absolutely the same. And I would like to now request Koshi sir to tell you a little bit about this Auroville International Information Center, and we can discuss how we can, collaborate to share this message to the world. Sir, over to you.
Namaste. My name is Koshi, and I just wanted to ask you one question, Srinivasan. Is Sri Ramachandra mission, which is located in Manapakam, is it?
Yes. Our earlier world headquarters, before the Hyderabad Kana Shantivanam took shape, Manapakam is where our largest center was. That was our world headquarters till 2014, you're right.
Okay, because I have come there. I've seen Sri Rajagopalachari, Patsarthi, when he comes to the airport, the amount of people who used to follow him, like they used to be literally students falling at his feet, piously listening to his, whatever utterances he used to make, because I was working in the airport. So many times I've seen Sri Rajagopalachari sitting on the airport, and the number of followers, especially with those badges, the Ramachandra mission badge, everyone used to wear it. So disciplined it was. I used to get attracted by, the people who visited them and who used to maintain such discipline. Because whenever he entered the airport, the people used to wait outside the airport. And once he gained entry into the airport, people just followed him inside the airport. The amount of discipline your supporters and followers, it was amazing. First, this has to be appreciated. And after that, I had an opportunity of visiting Manapakam campus. And since I was there in the government service, it was related to a government-related work. I had to come to the office. After that, I have not been connected to Manapakam. Anyway, it was a good experience for me. As Monica ji was telling you about Auroville Calling, The reason for we starting this project is we find that Auroville is a subject which has to be more exposed to the world. And especially you have got a lot of centers internationally and nationally, which can give some sort of a collaborative guidance to the Auroville Center here. And we seek your support, especially whenever you have a sort of an interaction with your supporters to explain it to them. There's also an institution called Auroville, and there's more chance for you to collaborate with them. And if you can give this kind of an exposure, it will be some, good thing for the development of Auroville. And the progress of the Auroville since 1968, it has been amazing, and a lot of things have happened here. And now it's a transformation state. And from 1968 onwards till then, we have got a number of foreigners and Indians. And to have a nice and pleasant stay for these foreigners, we have a visa system for foreigners, and I am the consultant for visas. So I would like to tell you that Auroville has got a special type of visa, which nowhere in the world the government of India gives to a spiritual institution. So this visa setup and visa backup for foreigners to visit Auroville has given a lot of advantage to the institution. So we have got a definite policy which has been set up by the government of India. So this can be used and this can be explained to your, your supporters who visit your institute in Hyderabad or in the other parts of the world. This is what my request is, and anything you want to add or ask on visa matters, I am ready to explain.
Thank you, Koshi sir. Also, Auroville is under the administration of Ministry of Education. So whether it is educational institutes, schools and colleges, or higher educational institutes, PhD, research work, in that way also, if you have devotees and guests to the center, or people who are connected for years, if they are happy to collaborate, if they want to come and visit, get to know about Auroville, we will be very happy to collaborate and come up with a program to host people. That is a request, and I would now like to request Uma ji, who is a long-term Aurovillian. Uma ji, am I audible? Are you there?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Molika. And happy to hear from Srinivasan ji and Ujjwal ji. I like to add one more thing, like already our work completely, like you are prepared everything, and we are ready to receive your collaborators. You already done the work, because the artfulness is the very essential thing we need. After preparing the artfulness, the next step will be to find out their soul. So Auroville is surely the place to find out the soul, individual soul has to evolve. That is the basic idea for Sri Aurobindo and Mother. That's what we find it very difficult, because we live in an outer world, isn't it? So you are doing our job, you are preparing the people in heartfulness and making them ready. Then you are helping us to bring your disciples and students, everyone, to make the journey here in Auroville very easily. Easily they can merge themselves in their heartfulness and they can do their work in beautiful way. So thank you so much. Our work has been half done by your service. So next leap will be Auroville for them, I hope. So please help us, and it's a give and take, a collaboration from Heartfulness and from Auroville. So Auroville is the place, the final attainment, those who are completely in the epitome of their spirituality can find the next leap in Auroville. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uma ji. We also have Mr. William with us from the admissions team. And if you can explain how it works in Auroville.
Yes, actually, we welcome the volunteers and people who wants to join Auroville as long-time resident and so on. So anyone can just come, send an email to us or contact us in any way, and we help them to find a place of work or stay and enable their journey here. So we are ready to receive you.
Thank you so much. I think we have lost Srinivasan ji. So if Trilochanji is here, if you can hear us, Trilochanji, are you there? There must be a... We'll wait for a few seconds and then otherwise we'll just wrap it. So can you close that?
Yeah, please.
You have to unmute yourself, Trilochanji. Unmute kar lijiye.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I just landed and I'm just using the phone.
Oh,
So
no issues.
net has been a bit dicey actually. So my apologies.
No, not at all. We are very happy that in spite of all of that, you made time to...
Yeah, Srinivasan is there now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Srinivasan ji, I think we lost you for some time. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, am I audible now?
Yes.
My apologies. I got a little bit hung on the app, so I changed my instrument. Sorry about that.
No issues. So we were just discussing in what ways can we collaborate because Auroville is under the Ministry of Education and the main purpose of Auroville is integral yoga and integral education. And so if through your center, if you can help us disseminate the information, the knowledge system of Auroville to especially youngsters, and if now that because of this NEP 2020 and credit courses that are allowed for students that they can go out for a semester to take up courses that are even not related particularly to their technical stream, and they can travel, study and get credits for that. So for that also Auroville is very much open as interns, as volunteers. And even if you want to do a retreat for your devotees and people who are connected to the Heartfulness Center, to bring them here to see Auroville and to see how most of what you explained about heartfulness, we also have the same practices. And if they want to come here just to get to know about Auroville, we will be very happy to design a program and host people. We will also get back to you with a list of things that are available with us and how if someone is inspired to come and volunteer in Auroville and if they feel the calling to become an Aurovillian, which is like a resident of Auroville, to join the city and make the dream come true. So we have Mr. William with us who will be very happy to, share with you the details of the admission process. And we have Mr. Koshi who just now explained, I don't know whether you were there, about the special visa that has been given by the government of India for Auroville, for anybody from across the globe to come and join this process of making the city happen. So before we wrap up, we would like to know your thoughts. If you have any thoughts on collaboration or how can we connect, please let us know.
I certainly feel that these areas which you mentioned are areas where we can practically collaborate. For instance, that just to reiterate that we have close to about in India about 250 training and meditation centers. Now, out of this, if I have to little bit shortlist some of the centers, we have a few of them which are very good residential centers. Like for example, Koshi sir has visited our Manapakam facility, for instance. Now there we have good stay facilities. We have even 40-45 rooms like that. So if we look at out of this group of facilities, we have some 15 or 20 of them which have good stay arrangements for overnight training, etc. So they are operate like retreat centers in one sense. Then there are many centers out of this 250 which have very good non-residential training facilities. Suppose you want to do programs which are, say, day specific. The night stay facilities are fairly dormitory kind of stuff. So that was how they were planned in the original sense. But when we do programs with, say, not very high professional, but students and all of that, and youth seminars and all that, just many of them are okay. So one, I think, is that we have many facilities. Many of them, we also are keen that they are well utilized for in a noble way. So if we have educational programs, skill building programs, training programs, and this which are even run by Auroville, you can certainly utilize these facilities, and that way we can jointly work in being able to extend and invite a lot more people there. That is number one. Number two is with respect to international people coming to India. This is again an area where it is very welcome. I had this conversation before the call, coming into today's call. So we have, for instance, a lot of people who come to our world headquarters, and a lot of them who are not, who are equally keen to come, and they are always looking for different mechanisms, and these are all very spiritually oriented people. So if we are able to integrate Auroville as part of the spirituality experience of people who are, because ultimately they are seekers and travelers in this path. So I think we can certainly work towards and integrate, and we can even run programs together where we can work together and and create. It could be with youth, it could be with different things. This is another format. The other idea which I also have in my mind is there are many community initiatives also. See, like Auroville must be getting involved. We also work with the government and different agencies on different initiatives. For example, one could be Ministry of Social Justice. There is a lot of work on Nasha Mukti and all, which in some states we are doing. The other is with respect to agriculture. See, in Kanha, you have seen that a lot of our efforts of Gaji have been on creating practices of water conservation, soil enrichment, agroforestation, these things which can be very helpful to communities at large. And especially when we touch the rural societies, when we go with this kind of a skill building and this kind of projects, it sort of creates a good buy-in in the community for them to then open up for other experiential things also. So this is also an area where I think we can work together. It could be on greening, it could be on conservation, it could be on sustainability. These are and land restoration. These are all crying issues of today's world. And I think if organizations like us can come together, pool our talents and resources, I think it will automatically. So all of these areas we are very much in principle to work. Practically speaking, however we want to make a start, we can do it, and we can take this thing up as a working team.
Thank you so much. That was a very concrete wrapping up of what we wanted to discuss today. And now we will also work from our side to prepare a plan and share it with you, and then we will see how we take it forward. And one thing that I wanted to add was the retreats, that as soon as, even before we share with you what we have prepared already as interns or volunteership with us from our side, if you have any upcoming retreats and you want Auroville to be a small part of it, please feel free to write to us. If it's a 7-day retreat and you want one of the last 2 days for the people to experience Auroville, we will be very happy to host them.
So for the next quarter, let me, in the next 2-3 days, look at the programs which we are planning to do. We are certainly planning that on for a little ahead in August, we wish to host a international conference for youth. Okay. On International Day of Youth. We have been doing it a couple of years with a gap with UNESCO. It was called Rising with Kindness. Okay. And I'll share that and a few other programs we have in mind. Wherever you feel appropriate, we can work together and we can, come together as collaborators and work. So let me put those things down. I'll talk to Sanjay also and see which other programs we are having on community front across India. And we'll sound it off. So let's make a start somewhere.
Yes.
And meanwhile, I'll also try to organize a list of all our centers across India where we have retreat facility, stay facility for programs, and then we can have a separate conversation. If you feel that look together, or even you yourself as an organization want to do something in these places, more than welcome.
Yes, that would be fantastic. We are also very happy to send our volunteers, at least 3 to 4 of them, to go and have a 1-day or a weekend conference or a conclave, an interaction or an experiential learning with the youth. And we'll be very happy to do that. Another crucial thing is about this Auroville International Information Center. So whether it is possible to have a small space or in your library, a small section where we can put the city plan of Auroville, the galaxy plan, some books of Mother and Sri Aurobindo and about the concept of Auroville, if you can give it a thought and let us know, then we would probably discuss it with the Secretary, Madam Jayanti Ravi, and we will be very happy to have one of the centers in collaboration with you, Auroville Information Center.
Yes, we can do that also. Kanha certainly is one, and apart from that, we can take up a few more. And
Wonderful.
just let me know who would be the person who will work with us on these detailing parts. So what we'll do is we'll do this homework and
Sure.
come back within a week. We can discuss all these details ki bhai, on each of these, what all can be, which can be considered, etc. And then we can. So who should we work with on this?
The three of us, we are here. I will share my details with Sanjay ji, and I'll take your details also from him so that we can also be in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's start on these areas. We are most happy to do that.
Thank you very much, Srinivasan ji, for your time. Trilochan ji, thank you for joining us. Uma ji, thank you. So we'll close the session today. Would like to.
Regards to Mr. Sanjay ji also.
I will, sir. I will, sir. I will
Yes.
say he was to join, but we had just one yesterday only. Daji had come back from MP. So Sanjay ji had one unavoidable meeting just now, just coincident with the same time. That's why he couldn't come. Otherwise, he would have been. He was most keen to join, actually. But anyway, these are the whatever I have conveyed are in alignment with what he and me have also discussed before the call. So I think we are all there. I'll also brief him. And maybe after a week, ma'am, we can set up another call so that we can review some of these action points and see how to land them.
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much. Would like to close with Sri Aurobindo's Gayatri Mantra. Om Saviturvaram Rupam Jyotihi Parasya Dhimahi Yannah Satyena Deepaye Satyena Deepaye Om Tat Saviturvaram Rupam Jyotihi Parasya Dhimahi Yannah Satyena Deepaye Satyena Deepaye. Thank you once again for joining us. We will see you soon next week. Namaste.
Thank you so much. It was an honor being there. Thank you.
Namaste.